Breaking news on the Ebola alert in Ohio. New concerns that more nurses from here were exposed to the disease. They were all on the same plane as a nurse now in isolation with the disease. Good evening. That nurse is Amber Vincent. She had been in close contact with the Ebola virus.
But despite that, the CDC did not stop her from flying when she told them she had a fever. Right now, Vincent is at Emory University Hospital in Atlanta in stable condition. She was flown there from Dallas. She was in Akron to plan her wedding. She's the second nurse from Presbyterian Hospital in Dallas to contract Ebola. Both nurses treated Thomas Duncan, who died from the disease.
Before Vincent returned home on Frontier Airlines, she called the Centers for Disease Control because she had a slight fever, 99.5 degrees. Despite the fact she had extensive contact with Duncan, she was not told not to fly. Ebola is only contagious if you're showing symptoms. Now officials are trying to find the other 132 people on that plane to put them on alert. That plane arrived in Denver a short time ago. It's now in a Frontier Airlines hangar.
President Obama tonight canceled a trip planned for tomorrow to Rhode Island and New York so he can remain in D.C. to monitor the situation. The president called an emergency meeting at the White House today. He says it's impossible to respond too quickly once a case is diagnosed.
What I've directed the CDC to do is that as soon as somebody is diagnosed with Ebola, we want a rapid response team, a SWAT team, essentially from the CDC, to be on the ground as quickly as possible.
Speaker of the House John Boehner from Westchester says that's just not enough. He wants a temporary ban on travel to the United States from countries with Ebola outbreaks. Boehner says more action may also be needed to protect the security of the U.S. travel network. Just 4 hours from here in Cleveland, the sense of crisis is growing.
That's where many fear the next Ebola victim may be found. 9 on your side's Evan Millward is there now. And Evan, what are you hearing about others who were exposed to Vincent?
And really all of Northeast Ohio is on Ebola alert tonight. The Cleveland Clinic and 2 other hospital systems here now say they had nurses coincidentally on Amber Vincent's flight to Dallas. At least 5 of them are on paid leave. Also tonight, one person, Vincent's stepfather, is in self-quarantine. Now, the house in Talmadge where he lives is being cordoned off because authorities believe that Vincent spent much of her time back home there. But everyone we've talked to tonight and the people you'll hear from all agree really they're just very worried. Dallas area nurse Amber Vincent left her work with Ebola patients to come home to the Akron area and see family and plan her wedding. But now there's concern at Firestone High School. Vincent was a 2003 grad.
Being a nurse, you know, what higher occupation is there than a nurse, a doctor, and so forth. So our prayers are with her, and we're all hoping that everything turns out all right.
She would eventually develop a fever and Ebola symptoms. When Vincent called the CDC about her low-grade fever, they let her fly anyway. Now health officials at all levels are tracking Vincent's trip, every step, every touch.
We do have pretty confidence she was not around any public major event. There's talk that she was at Kent State. That is not true. That has not been founded. It was her parents were there. She was not there.
But neighbors in Summit County worry still about the Ebola virus in their backyard.
I don't think she flew all the way from Dallas to come and just stay in the house with her family and not see anybody else. So that's unlikely. So there's more involved than just the people who were on the plane.
Now, the CDC does have representatives arriving here in Northeast Ohio right now at Governor John Kasich's request, but they remind us, as do the local hospitals and health departments here in Northeast Ohio, there are no Ebola cases here and really very little opportunity for anyone to have gotten it. We're live in Cleveland tonight. Evan Millward, 9 on your side.